Something that I commonly see related to the pelvic floor is when individuals are not able to relax these muscles. If individuals are weaker, what we'll notice is that the muscles will try to actually tighten up to give them better support and to help protect. But this can cause additional pain in this area. So today I'm going to teach you a trick that I normally do with a lot of my patients, especially if they're having a hard time relaxing the pelvic floor. When they learn to relax the pelvic floor, simply telling someone to relax is not always the right answer because that can cause additional tension and even just stress people more out. So instead, what I do is I typically move people into a direction that they're already comfortable in. With this, I'm going to make you tighten your pelvic floor first to help teach you how to relax it. You may be wondering why. And the reason is because if the pelvic floor is already used to being tight, you may be able to recognize the motion that is already there or even lack thereof. And after we teach you to tighten the pelvic floor, at that point, releasing those muscles with different cues can be a little bit easier. It may not make sense just yet, but I want you to give this exercise a try as we go through the different steps. So before we start the exercise, I just want to emphasize that breathing is something very important when it comes to the pelvic floor. Breathing can be used to help strengthen and relax the pelvic floor. Because we're going to utilize our breath at a certain point with this exercise as we progress it to help with the recognition of the pelvic floor movement, I want to at least take a brief moment to go over what the pelvic floor should naturally do in response to your breath. Each time you inhale, your pelvic floor should relax and drop down. Those pelvic floor muscles are going to respond directly to the pressure change that occurs in the abdominal region. So if you were to take a deep breath in and inhale and allow for the ribs to expand out, allow for the belly to push out, that pressure change is also going to push directly on the pelvic floor, causing these muscles here to move downward. Now, as you exhale, the body is going to naturally recoil and the pelvic floor muscles are going to move up. So first, I just want you to give that a try. Take a deep breath in. And as you take that breath in, the pelvic floor muscles should drop down a little bit. Now, my hand is exaggerating that motion simply so that way you can have a visual cue and get an idea as to how the movement is occurring. And with each exhale, you're going to notice the pelvic floor is going to rise back up or recoil back to where it started. Now, if someone has a tight pelvic floor, they may not notice much movement. And a lot of times that's simply because of the tension that's in place and the muscles are not able to move throughout their full range. As we go through some of these exercises, I want you to take note as to how your pelvic floor responds. Are you able to notice the pelvic floor relaxing more with certain cues? If so, that is something important for you to note, especially if you're having pain in this region, because this exercise can help you decrease the pain itself. So you just heard me mention how breathing can impact the pelvic floor movement. First, I want you to get an idea as to how your pelvic floor is moving and if you're able to recognize and notice the movement that is occurring. I'm going to have you take your fingertips and I'm going to have you place them underneath your bottom towards the anal region. The reason why I said towards the anal region is because the cue I'm going to give you is more so going to target the muscle fibers in that region in order to help tighten and relax the pelvic floor. So placing your hands underneath your bottom, you can either do this exercise sitting in a chair like I'm sitting here, or even sitting on the ground in what I call with my kids crisscross applesauce. The most important thing is that you're comfortable and able to relax and that you're able to also sense the movement that is occurring. So as you take that breath in, like I said, your tummy should expand, your ribs should also move as well. And you want to try to breathe in deeply all the way down towards your hands. So first, go ahead and take that deep breath in, inhaling. And now exhaling. On the inhale, you should feel those muscles dropping down towards your hands just a little bit as they relax off. And on the exhale, you feel them move back up a bit as well. Now, if you're not noticing much movement, it could be because you're having tightness and even tension in the pelvic floor. It also is a chance that you may not simply be able to sense the movement that's occurring. But as we go through different exercises and activities, I hope that you're able to better recognize this sensation. So with your hands still in place underneath your bottom, now we're going to see if you're able to tighten your pelvic floor. And the cue I'm going to give you for that is I'm going to ask you to try to imagine that you have gas, but now hold the gas in, so don't let it out. And you should notice those muscles underneath your fingertips rising up a little bit, or even moving more so towards the middle or midline region of your body. As those muscles contract, make sure you're not squeezing your glutes, so squeezing the butt in the back, and also make sure you're not squeezing those knees together. Those other muscles can help you cheat when you're trying to just activate the pelvic floor right now. So now as you try to imagine that you're holding in gas, I want you to now let go and relax. Did you feel the muscles drop down? If not, you may be holding on to tension and the pelvic floor itself may be tight. But now let's see if we can incorporate that gas hold-in cue along with our breathing and then fully relax to see if we're able to get more movement in the pelvic floor. So right now, keeping everything relaxed. So if you're tightening the pelvic floor by doing that gas holding cue, I want you to let go. Great. So now that you've let go of that, I'm going to have you take a deep breath in, keeping everything nice and relaxed, breathing all the way down into your hands. Good. And now as you exhale, try to hold gas in and keep holding the gas. And I'm going to have you hold the gas in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let go. Did you feel those muscles drop back down into your hands? Depending on where your hands are placed, you may have even also noticed your sit bones move out a little bit as you relax those pelvic floor muscles. When you're doing this one here, it is extremely important that you're not holding your breath. So even though you may be holding the gas in for that 5-second hold, make sure that you're not holding your breath, because what can happen is you can begin to tense up those muscles again and also tense other muscles that will not allow for you to fully relax your pelvic floor. So I want you to give that a try a few times. Inhaling, keeping everything relaxed. As you exhale, try to hold gas in. And then you're going to hold that there for 5, 4, 3, 2. Make sure you're breathing. 1. And let go of the gas hold-in cue. As you let go, as you continue to practice this, you may notice more movement within the pelvic floor. With each let go, make sure you're taking note as to how you're feeling. Now, if you need more help understanding how diaphragmatic breathing can impact your pelvic floor, I'm going to add an additional link down into the comment area, because that link itself will go over how you can better learn how to perform diaphragmatic breathing and also the impact that it will have. But if you're noticing pain, I encourage you to try to do things that will allow for your pelvic floor to lengthen and relax. So in addition to the breathing activity we just did, as far as contracting with that gas hold in and then letting go completely, you also want to make sure that you're stretching and performing hip activities to improve mobility. Stretching out these muscles, improving mobility, can definitely help impact your pain. The biggest thing is you want to make sure you're able to relax the pelvic floor as well.